we go. Hi, my name is Jeff Cheeseman again, and this video regards how we go about installing our encoders. So the first thing we'll show you is what's involved when you get a package from us regarding the encoders. You'll get a number of pieces. There's the actual encoder. You'll see my keyboard on top. The keyboard is not shipped with it. We're asking you to supply a keyboard, mouse, and monitor for the installation. Next to it, or I should say in front of it, you have an IP power unit, which allows us to plug a number of devices in and turn them on and off over the internet. Next to that is a standard issue router, which will be hooked up to the computer and then be a firewall between our system and the supplied internet connection. The large metal enclosure should be secured to the wall. Get into that in a moment. You have a camera power supply, connecting balums, which are, you remember from the camera video, or if you haven't seen the camera video, you'll see the other end in the camera video, is how we connect our cameras. A UPS power unit, some other parts we'll demo, and the monitor. Now, we'll step back for a second, and I'll drop the camera. The first thing we're going to do when we get the package, everything will be packaged in the box, and we have to take things out of the box. Things will not be packaged the way you see them here. They're laid out for discussion. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to use the holes in the back of the box, find some studs on a wall that's out of the way, secure, hopefully in an air-conditioned environment, and that will be where we mount the box. So we're going to make sure it's okay with the people where we mount the box, the local officials, and then we'll mount the box. We'll then put, after the box is mounted, and again this is the first thing we do, we have a standard issue encoder. The encoder consists of the capture board, CPU, the hard drive, the power supply. Notice the front's been removed to give us more space, and it's got 4 connections across the back for video and 1 for the audio. When you receive this box, which we placed in there, when you receive the box, oh by the way, all the connections will come in through the bottom, hole in the bottom. When you receive the box, the router, receive the box, the IP power unit and the router will most likely be inside of this secured, so there's that much less for you to do. And the audio and video connections will already be made. These, of course, connect. I'll pull this out so you can see it. There's a S-video connection type device here that connects in the top of the Osprey card. Please make sure that that is secure. There's one of those. Oh, it's been bent when shipping. This happens, you'll have to just take a small screwdriver and straighten that out. The power connection will be connected to its power supply. Either you'll have individual tails going to each camera, or you'll have, as you see here, one tail connecting power through an adapter, multi-prong adapter to the cameras. In this case we have 3 camera connections, so this was set up for 3 cameras. These of course will be connected here. Please connect them in groups, the first field together, the second field together, just to make things easier to deal with. I'm going to pause for 1 second and fix this audio. Hang on. Okay, I think we're recording again. As you can see, I've packed the package much more like you'll receive it. The camera power supply and router are here. Generally we find the spacing works to put the IP power unit under here. Everything is plugged into the IP power unit. The computer is plugged into the first port. The router is plugged in the second port in this case. The camera power supplies are plugged into the third port. Allows us to turn anything on and off. A bunch of the wires are packed here, leaving plenty of room to work here. The router, the incoming internet coming up through the bottom will come into the router in the WAN port. The two LAN ports are for the IP power and the computer. The power cord from the IP power will come up. At this point you'll be adding the UPS, which seems to sit pretty well up on top. IP power will come around, plug into the battery side. This will go out through the bottom and be plugged into the wall. This should be tied up. This will be plugged into the USB port in the back of the computer for them to communicate. You'll notice I've taken the antenna off the router as we're not using the wireless. I'm going to leave it there. Should we need it in the future, they're always at the local installation. A couple of things you'll notice. You'll notice that there are two connections for audio here. We do redundant mics, but we don't do redundant mics the way you're thinking stereo, as much as we do redundant mics so we have control. You'll see there's a lot of wire here for the audio input. You'll notice that one of the two channels, so this is mic 1, mic 2, coming from the two cameras you mount, but one is all the lefts and the other is attached to all the rights. If you are in fact installing two fields, we pull off the last adapter and you would actually hook up one mic from field A and one mic from field B. The first mic in field A would go into left, right 1 and 2. The second mic from field A would go into right mics 1 and 2. Please don't mix these up so that each mic feeds left and right. If we have a problem with a mic, we can remotely go in and change the balance and shut that mic off. Again, if there's only one mic feeds all the lefts, one mic feeds all the rights. It does give us a little bit of stereo, not much, but that's the way. The wires will come bound to make them easier to deal with, but that's why they're wired the way they are. Again, if there's two, there's only two to plug in, makes it easy. If there's four, please make sure that you've got one mic into, or the mics from field 1 into the left and right from 1 and 2, the fields from the second field into number 3 and 4 left and right. If you are going out and doing maintenance, there's a couple of items. That's basically it. You're going to bring the Cat 5 in, terminate it, plug it into the Balaams on this end. At that point you'll hook up your monitor into the monitor port, plug it in, hook up. This is a micro keyboard mouse touchpad, which I can plug into one USB port, take control, make sure that everything's working. The reason we ask you to install this first is because that allows us to take control of it remotely and check it out, make sure it's fully up to date and everything like that. As you install the cameras, we can then watch the installation of the cameras as the cameras come up. If you do see some older units, you might see one of these. It's a 24-volt power supply. These are fairly touchy, please be careful with them. Here again, it's going to feed the 3 cameras through 3 pigtails. Please power this down, unplug it before doing any work on it. Like I said, these are touchy, they tend to blow their fuses. These will be rolled out in favor of the new power supplies as that happens. And that's basically all you need to do. Like I said, this will come prepackaged. Having it sit on the IP power gives lots of place, lots of space. The IP power could also go up on the top, underneath the battery, whichever you're more comfortable with. Putting it down here allows for better airflow. The last thing you need to do before you close up the box, of course it's stuck, is just make sure that the vent for the case is in fact plugged in. It runs off the power supply as well. You just pull one of the power supply leads and that should be that. Again, if you have any questions, please call Kevin Smith or myself at Youth Sports Live. Thank you. One final point. We've got the IP power unit, everything plugged in correctly, the fan plugged in, the power back up on top, the battery up on top, make sure it's there. We've got the wires coming in connected to the Balaams, the USB connection from the battery. This would be coming out the bottom, the power pack. At this point you'll put the front plate back on. I'm not going to make it too precise here. Close up the lid, lock it down. For the time being, you should have received an idea from us whether or not you should keep a key, or whether or not you should keep a key and give one of the other keys to the league representative. I hope this has been helpful. Please try to make your wiring clean and neat, as we are guests in their house. We appreciate your humility as you deal with them. If they don't like us, then they'll kick us out. So once again, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please call.